Hi everyone, I hope you're all having the best day. I thought today we could talk about the thing I get asked the most about on social media, which is my experience with getting surgery in Turkey. You will have to excuse how I look. I came home from work today and I was like, I have the worst headache, my hay fever's bad, my hair's dirty, like I just, you know when you're just like, oh, like I don't want to do anything. But I was like, I need to film this video because this is the only time I have this week to do it. So I apologise that you have to look at me. So back in 2021, I got my nose done in Turkey. And then in 2023 or 2023, I think, I got my boobs done. And I posted about that on TikTok and I get so many questions, more about my boobs than my nose, which always surprises me, but that is a thing that I get asked so much about. I remember like one of my first TikToks, it's probably like a month or two in, I posted about my nose job and it got like 2 million views, which I was like really not used to. I'm still not used to, but like it honestly got so much hate, but also so many questions. And then since then I've spoken about my boobs and I've just had like so many questions. So I thought, let me make this. I'm trying to post on TikTok. Obviously everything's quite short and I'm just kind of saying things as quickly as possible. Whereas on YouTube, I feel like I can talk for a little bit longer about things. So I thought I'll make this video, answer all of the questions, tell you the whole experience. And I have already done a video like really in depth about my nose, but I want to talk more about like the experience and what to expect. Like if you are someone who is going and you just don't know what it's going to be like, I want to make this video so you know exactly what it will be like. I plan on putting a disclaimer at the start of this video, but I just want to say it as well. I am talking about my experience, how it was for me, and I can advise you in some ways of things you should do, but please do not go just based on my word. Please do your own research. Please make sure it's right for you. Don't just listen to one person. I think it's good to watch videos like this for like research, but watch way more, look at everyone's experiences, look at the bad, look at the good, because I would hate to like say, oh my god, it's amazing, just go do it, and then you go do it and you don't have the same experience I had. Like I guess I don't want to be responsible. And I just think it's really, really important to do a lot of research and hear a lot of people's stories. So one of the reasons I want to make it is to share my experience, but just remember this is my experience and other people have different experiences. Okay, so where did I go? So for my nose, I went to Medaway, and for my boobs, I went to Clinica. If I compared the two, if I would have to say one experience was better, I would probably say Clinica, just because of like the aftercare. So I saw my surgeon almost every day after, but I also had people come to the room, like nurses. They have like a hospital, or I can't remember what it's called, but something in the hotel where if you need anything, they are there. Whereas with my nose, I had the nose job in the hospital, then went back to the hotel for a week. I will get into like the whole process. And then I didn't see my surgeon until the day before I left. Again, it could have been because obviously two different things, like maybe it didn't need as much aftercare with my nose. I just felt with Clinica that they were a little bit more, they cared a bit more about the experience, but that's not to say I didn't like Medaway. I did still really think they were good. It's just obviously if you've had two experiences with two different places, there's probably going to be one that it's a little bit better, and I would say that's Clinica. So let's go all the way back to the start. So you're thinking about getting surgery, you've decided, okay, I'm going to look at Turkey. The first thing that will happen is you'll probably Google it and loads of places will come up. Maybe you'll find a surgeon on Instagram, which I cannot talk about this experience because I did not choose my surgeon. I didn't know who my surgeon was before I even got there. Actually, for my boobs, I did know like a week before, I think, or I did know before. With my nose, I definitely didn't. And I didn't choose either of them. They were given to me. So I know there's a lot of surgeons on Instagram who have gone really viral and people go with them. Just so you know, obviously it's great going with these like viral surgeons, but they will charge like way more just because they're viral. That there are a lot of really good surgeons in Turkey. There are so many. Not saying go for the cheapest, but just be aware that a lot of them do massively overcharge because they're like viral. But then again, it's great to go somewhere that has so many people that have been to them. But I do also hear like sometimes if you book straight for a surgeon and not for a clinic, the aftercare isn't so great. You kind of have to plan everything else. Like I haven't had that experience, so I can't really speak on it. But I did just want to mention that because I know some people will go that way, and I completely understand why you would, because you want your surgeon to be someone that you really trust. When you go with, actually no, sorry, let's get back to the timeline because then we'll cover all of this. You'll probably Google it, loads will come up, it'll be kind of overwhelming. I would start by going on websites, seeing which ones, like a good website I think is important. Like if you go on a website and it looks like 5-year-olds made it, I think it's kind of like low budget, and you're like, why is that low budget? Like you do cosmetic surgery, and there'll always be contact forms on there. So on the ones that you think, okay, this looks good, and you've had a look at their reviews on Trustpilot, they all look genuine. Just remember, there's a lot of fake reviews out there. And I always say, when you're looking on Trustpilot, I know you'll see all of these amazing reviews, make sure you look at the 1-star, because a lot of the time the 1-stars tell you more than the 5 stars. Because sometimes you read a 1-star review and you're like, oh my god, like, sorry Karen, like, and it's like nothing bad. But like other times, like especially if you're seeing like the same issue coming up over and over and over again, that tells you a lot more than 5-star reviews. So once you've had a look at their reviews, a look at their website, and you feel like they're someone you potentially want to go with, you will fill out a form on their website with your contact information, and they will more than likely contact you by WhatsApp. And I know that feels really unprofessional, but that is how they do it. That is not unprofessional. Like if you've been there, like they use WhatsApp for everything. Like anywhere you go, they're always on their phones using WhatsApp. Or like what we experience like in shops and stuff. So just, I know it feels weird because I think like in the UK, like everything will be like done by like email. But like really, what is the difference? WhatsApp is just a lot faster. So I know a lot of people are kind of put off that they get contacted on WhatsApp, but honestly, all of the clinics there do it. So don't be put off by that. A lot of the time they will like instantly ask you for pictures, and this is actually one of the reasons I went with Clinica for my boobs, because getting a text from a random number, even if you're expecting it, do you just want to be sending pictures of your boobs? Like I obviously had to quite early on, but I had some kind of back and forth with them before that, which made me feel way better. When it came to my nose, I really didn't care because it's a nose, like everyone sees my nose. It's not like a private part of my body. I probably spoke to each time about 10 different clinics, and I went with the people that, first of all, I had a look at the price. I looked at the price that everyone was offering, and like there was a lot of consistent ones, but then there'd be like a random really high one or really low one. I think look at like the most consistent prices. Do not go with the lowest price unless it's like actually not that much difference and you just really like those people, like that's fine. But if it's like weirdly low, don't go there. Don't do it. Make sure you ask so many questions. They should be sending you so much information about the whole process, about their surgeon. So like I said, you don't get to pick your surgeon, but they will send you their surgeon's profile. So there'll probably be like 5 of them. And I think you can request at a price if there's a specific one, but I looked at all of the surgeons and I thought all of them looked really good. So they do provide information about their surgeons, you just don't necessarily know who you're going to get. Once you've finally decided, you've looked at them like on Trustpilot, their website, you've spoken to them, you've had a look like on TikTok at people's experiences, like search the clinic or the surgeon's name on TikTok, see if you can find anyone's experiences. Really spend some time and days deciding if this is what you want to do. This isn't if it's in Turkey, like surgery is a really big decision, and I know when you start contacting people it feels so exciting, like oh my god, I'm finally doing this. But please remember, this is a really big decision, and I know it's so easy to rush through it because you're excited, but it's a really big decision. And with any surgery, wherever you are in the world, comes with risks, and I know there's a lot of horror stories out there about Turkey. Unfortunately, surgery goes wrong everywhere. However, it's a lot rarer, less common than you think. And if you've done the right research, and this is one of the reasons why I like to go in for a clinic, I just felt like it wasn't all just on like a surgeon, like it was like a whole clinic, like it was their reputation that would be very important. And not just like reputation, I don't know, I just felt more like I trusted a clinic. Of course, things do go wrong. There's horror stories that are real, but there's also a lot of horror stories that are massively exaggerated. And I think it's kind of like, because I've been twice, and I've seen how amazing the surgeons and the nurses are, it's kind of like when you hear people talking about so badly, I'm like, okay, but hear the whole story. And unfortunately, surgery goes wrong in lots of places. I've spoken before about how I had a breast lift when I was 19 in the UK, and my experience wasn't that great. I ended up having to get them done again. Didn't think the aftercare was that great. No horror story, but like it wasn't great. They will take a deposit. I can't remember how much I paid. It was like between £300 to £500, and it was by bank transfer. And I know both times they didn't get it instantly. It took a couple of days, which really scared me. And I get people asking me about that. So scary. But yes, they do get it. It's just because it's like an international transfer? I don't know. Okay, so then you've booked it and your price will include, and let me just remind you that I'm just talking about my own experiences, so make sure you know what's included. But for both of my experiences, it included everything but flights. So that was hotel, surgery, hospital stay, any like medications I needed, all transfers. The hotels were bed and breakfast, any aftercare, all of that. Just didn't include flights. So booked my flight. We're going now to the day we got our flight. My boyfriend came with me, very last minute for my nose, but both of them, he came with me. Got the plane, they pick us up at Istanbul airport. So they will take you either to your hotel or the hospital. So with my nose, I went to the hospital that night and I had all of my blood tests, and then I had my surgery the next day. With my boobs, we went to the hotel. The next day I met my surgeon and he done loads of drawings on me, and then the day after I had my surgery. So it's different. They will tell you. Most of the time you will have your surgery the day after you get there, but it is case by case. Also with my boobs, because it was a revision, because I had that boob job before, I also had all of these different tests. Like I had an ultrasound of my boobs, which was great because obviously it showed like scar tissue and stuff, but it also showed me that there was nothing to like worry about. There was no lumps or bumps to be worried about, so I felt really good to have that. You stay in your hotel the night before your surgery, or I did personally. My friend did go and she stayed the night before and the night after. I think it depends, but they will give you your surgery time. They'll come pick you up. You'll get taken to the hospital. It will be a private room, and the rooms are lovely. The hospitals are very clean. The two I've been to were very, very clean. All the nurses were lovely. You'll get changed and then you're going for surgery. With my nose, I just got like put under anaesthetic. With my boobs, I had a sedative, which honestly I didn't want, but like I don't know, I didn't not want it, but like if I'd been given the choice, which I wasn't, which is probably not great, or maybe, I don't know, I didn't care that I had it, but I probably didn't need it. Like I was fine for them to just knock me out straight with the anaesthetic. I was fine, but I don't know if you can request that or not. I think they just give it to you now. I don't know. Woke up from surgery, I was alive. I still have my kidneys. For those people who hear the stories that they take their kidneys, how they can take a kidney through the nose or through your boob, I don't know. I don't know. So wake up, spend the night in hospital. They really do take care of you. That they come and check you every hour. Your surgeon will come see you the next day, and then you'll get discharged if everything's good. With my nose, I then just spent the rest of the week going shopping every day. I looked ridiculous. Like I looked awful. I can't believe I went out like that, but they're just so used to it there. And we were like near so many fun shops. The next time we weren't, but this time, actually no, we were near a massive mall. The first time we were near like the markets of all like the fake bags and stuff, so we just spent ages walking around. Then with my boobs, I saw my surgeon most days after I had the drains put in, which are disgusting. It does not hurt coming out, by the way. I know people think it does, but I saw my surgeon, I think a couple of days after, so he could check everything. It was just, I think it was more complicated when it came to my boobs. Like I think my nose was just like a standard nose job, whereas my boobs was a revision, a lift and an implant. I should have said that at the start, by the way. So there was just like a little bit more to check, and he was amazing. Like I loved my surgeons. We'll talk about them in a minute, but let's just continue of the week. So I stayed a full week. Some people stay 2 weeks. I stayed a full week. With my nose, I had my cast off on the last day. Honestly, the most painful part of that is just when they massage it. The like tampon things they pull out your nose, it's just uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt, in my opinion. And then you go home to recover. My recovery for both of them was fine. Like it was really fine. But I do think obviously that's very personal, and I think because I really didn't struggle with my recovery and I didn't really feel pain with like either of them, I think that sometimes worries people when they hear that if you've actually like gone and done it and you're like recovering and it's like, oh my god, I'm in so much pain. Just remember, everyone's surgery is different, everyone's pain threshold is different, like it's just, everything's different. So if you do feel pain, just make sure you check in with your surgeon, but don't panic because like everyone's different. Okay, my surgeons. My surgeon for my nose was Dr. Gorkum Atzel. He was lovely. He was so nice. I really liked him. The nurses at the hospital were lovely. Done a great job. I'm really happy. However, I posted about it and I did have a girl message me and say she had gone and he hadn't been very nice to her. I don't really know the situation. I think she was very scared and he felt frustrated with her, and she said the nurses weren't great either. I wasn't there. I obviously believe her 100%, but it's just hard because obviously I had such an amazing experience, so I always want to share that, but because I was told this information, I'm like, I can't not say this now. Like I did get told that, and he actually doesn't work with Medaway anymore, so I don't know, like I can't say I recommend him because of that situation, but take that situation away based on my own experiences, I would. So I don't know. For my boobs was Dr. Hakan Oxel, and he was lovely. Again, I really liked him. You know when you can like tell someone's got like daughters? I don't actually know if he did, but like he had like a girl dad vibe. He was so lovely, like such a perfectionist, and he was just great, and I couldn't say anything bad about him. I would really recommend him. I haven't heard anything bad about him. I would really recommend him. Talk about a couple of the cons. I think everything I've said up to now is very, oh, I forgot to say about the payment. So obviously you pay your deposit, you will pay the rest normally in cash, and I know it feels scary going through the airport with like thousands of pounds in cash. I never carry cash, but you can actually, I think at the time you could take up to like 20,000 through the airport without having to declare it, but don't hold me to that, do your own research. So like don't worry, like I know it feels like a lot, and I know it feels really like, it's just not nice carrying all of that cash, but they take it from you quite fast, so don't worry too much. I think there is options to pay by debit and credit card, but there's like a charge. I think most people just pay through cash. So I guess that kind of would be a con, like you've got to carry all of that money. The other con I would say was when I got my nose done, I literally had to like climb onto the table. And the surgery tables are like this narrow, and I think that's a little bit scary, and I guess that's why they give you the sedation, but it kind of like shocked me. You will have a translator. However, kind of in the night when it's the nurses, some of them don't speak very good English, which is fine, like we're not in England, but just be aware it wasn't a problem. But just, I think that is one of the things that you have to remember. It's like they may not, like everyone may not speak perfect English, and I think as like English people we expect that way too much, but obviously in these situations you really want to be able to communicate with people well. I didn't have an issue, but sometimes there is like a language barrier, but because everything for me was so fine, it wasn't a problem. But if kind of throughout the night, if there's any issues, I can imagine if you don't speak, or if they don't speak good English, that could be an issue. And I think it's just like the obvious cons, like you're in another country, like if things go wrong, it is harder. Make sure you get special insurance for it. I think my insurance cost me like £100, but so worth it. Normal travel insurance will not cover you. But yeah, like things can go wrong and it feels scarier when you're in a different country. It's more like the possibilities of what could go wrong are the cons, but yes. Just thinking about like frequently asked questions I get, can I bring someone? I brought my boyfriend both times, no extra cost. Make sure you ask about that. How much did it cost? My nose cost like 2.5 and my boobs cost like 4.5, I think. Did you have a translator? Yes, most of the time. Most people there do speak English. Even if it's not like perfect English, they do speak really good English. It really was not an issue for me. But yeah, I'm really hoping I've answered everything, because I have been talking, oh my god, I've been talking for half an hour. I always talk for way too long. But hopefully I've answered all of the questions that you may have. If you do have any more questions, just leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in the next video. Bye!